high, we be lit. It's a unique hustle, addiction.
Check it. It's Unique Hustle. It's your boy ECO, and I'm here with the lovely, amazing, official Miss Jamaica. What's going on? We down in San Antonio, Texas. What's up, Miss Jamaica?
Nothing, no more there, all gone. I want y'all to stop what you're doing right now. Go like, subscribe, follow us from all social media platforms. When I mean all, I mean all. I mean on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. You name it, we're on it. Just Google us, Boss Talk Podcast 101. We'll pop up first in line, I guarantee you. But y'all see us in the streets and talk about, man, I love what y'all doing. Keep up the good work. How can we be a part of Boss Talk? This is how you can be a part of Boss Talk. Under each and every interview, including this one right here in the description section below, there's a link that says join our membership. Click that link, follow all the instructions, and that's how you can see all the exclusive content that y'all been asking us, where's this interview, where's that interview? You got to be a member to see it. Thank you in advance, and we love you.
Man, listen, man, we got a guy here today, y'all, all the way from Compton, California. It's going down, man. Y'all know him as OG PIRU, man, on Boss Talk 101, man. What's going on, baby?
Yo, we up in here in San Antonio, Texas.
Man, stop.
When they lost the Alamo, we gonna bring it back. Alamo, hey, here we come.
OG, man, like every time I see you, man, it's just a treat, bro. Cause like I said, ever since I've been doing the show, man, God put me basically in your space and you in mine, man. And basically we've been killing the game, man. Just going down through there, man, on the history of just culture. People try to make it one thing, but you really can't, cause we talk about everything, right?
Everything. I mean, this is what they called back in the day the Fantastic Voyage.
Man,
get it all right.
Man, right that's here. What I'm talking about. OG, man. So you know, a lot of times, man, people be tripping, man. I look at you, man, as like a pinnacle, man. When it come down to really, man, you still here, right? Like a lot of people ain't here no more. I talk to you all the time. You steadily going to funerals here and funerals there, but you made it through a lot, and that's one of the reasons, man, I rock with you so much, because I know, like, damn, I'm hoping I can make it through. You know what I'm saying?
No, you rocking with me because I'm doing the most. And yet you got me down here in San Antonio, Texas, and you knew before we came it wasn't a Waffle House. and that's amazing. It wasn't a Waffle House. See, this is how Boss Talk treats me. But I've made it through. But I mean, it's not that I'm exceptional, you know. But I am special because I was forced in control of my life early on. So I didn't do the things that y'all was able to do. So now I'm able to express it. Eating one meal a day, preserving myself, don't drink, don't stink, none of that. So that's I'm just saying. And then when you would get these new guys that feel like they got it all and know it all, but you know, we'll work on them too.
Well, I want to just ask you, man, like I be going through the internet and stuff, and man, I you know, the other night I was rolling through, man, and you know, of course, the guy who pretty much we had the recording and everything where y'all had fell out, it came back and it was like, okay, do you really know Wack 100? Let me ask you that, man. Let's. Have you ever met him?
Yes, I met him twice. And this is what you did when they talk about a liar can never say the same thing twice. The first time I met him was the Drake and Game video over in my mother's in my brother's neighborhood in Cedar Block.
Okay.
And he looked like a surfer at that time. And Game and one of the other little homies got into a little altercation, and Rod 100 seen the gun and broke off and ran. But he was real nice then. So we go back, he was the interview you're talking about. He expresses that nobody knew anything about me from 2000. Well, nobody knew anything about him until 2000. He didn't come on death row until 2003, as I understand it. And when he came on death row in 2003, he didn't come on, it wasn't even death row. At the time it came on, Keter Rock was over death row. Suge was in jail. He got put on by Reggie Wright Jr. He didn't get put on by CJL or Bunchreal or nobody. Nobody has any evidence of him before 2000. I don't know nothing about him. You know, first time I ever heard about him when Jimmy Henchman got cracked and got arrested in New York, and he came up, he developed me, started managing Game.
Wow.
So that's when he became popular in Compton, California. He wasn't an element before him. Didn't nobody know him in Pacoima. I go back to I was one of the first dudes from Compton in the 70s, 71, when the first Crips came in. When Bunchy Griffin came in, Skipper from the Avenues, Walker, Skipper, Scooter, Wig, all of these dudes, the first Crips that came to YTS, I was there. When I went to prison, I was the first one there. So I've had a history. I came down in 1979. I was in high power with Tookie, Peabody, Hoover Gooch, Doc Holliday, Ray Browning, Skid Row Slasher, Bobby Joe Maxwell, Bittaker, a host of murderers. So I had a history. I came down from prison, and when I was in 1750, the lieutenant came and asked me and Peabody that they needed us to go to another module because the bounty hunters had caught a case, and it was like 9 or 10 bounty hunters. They had 4,800. They had a whole Crip module. So what they did, the bounty hunters told them they couldn't go on the main line, so they started 3,500. Peabody said he wasn't leaving 1750, the high power. I wanted to get out to the main line. So I went over to 3,500. Me, Gangsta Blood, Michael Roselle, Kevin Dykes, and the other 9 was the first 9 bounty hunters in the Hawkins murder. So this is in the 80s. And then we gets to 86, 87. I was in 4,300. The names that he's rattling about, Little Man, and I was on Baker 4 with Little Man for 2 years. So we had until the fallout with the PIRUs and the family Swans, and all the PIRUs moved over to A block. I still stayed in B section until Momo came. My homie Momo came, and I went over with them. So I've been relevant all of my life. He ain't done nothing any of his life. So,
Go ahead.
You know, so when you get to rectifying and who I am, and here he is, he says when he met me with the mayoral race, that I act like I was with a church.
Yeah.
And I was a deacon. I've been in the Nation of Islam since 1964. So who could ever have me as an element as a deacon? So the man is an habitual liar. None of the stuff that he says adds up. And like you say, you see me at all the funerals. I want to look at them because somebody gonna look at me one day.
Yeah.
So somebody got to tell the story. He hasn't been to one funeral, one PIRU funeral. They just had one for one of the homies that got killed at 456 in Pacoima, in Pomona. Now, I got respect for Pacoima PIRUs. I in prison with a couple of them dudes. And when I said he was confused, originally, Pacoima, they were the 3 Ps. Pacoima, Pasadena, and Pomona, the 3 Ps. But then how we got the 2 Ps and a B, because Pacoima is Pacoima PIRUs, Pasadena is Denver Lane, they bloods, and 456 Pomona, right? So they dropped the 3 Ps and made it 2 Ps and a B. So that's the origination of the 3 Ps. We can't keep saying 3 Ps because Pasadena are bloods. They're from Denver Lane. So for the respect, as I understand it, is that how it became 2 Ps and a B. And the homie that did it, he stood on it. He got into it with Puddin'. Puddin' said, man, we can't have no B behind the P. He got on with Puddin'. He got on with Biggs, Carlos out of the bounty hunters. Man, you can't have no P in front of the B. And he stood on that. But that has nothing to do with Rat 100. He was not a part of no element. He hasn't put no work in. He went to prison for shooting somebody with a BB gun. He did his time in Chuckawalla, wouldn't take a fade, and argued with the police, allegedly, and they transferred him out. So all these names he's talking about, Monkey Man, I did time with these dudes. He's calling their name, and ain't nobody. He don't, well, I talked to some of the OGs. Well, you sure didn't talk to GB, because me and GB's father and his uncle, them was my little homeboys. You didn't talk to Mo, because Mo's daddy and his uncle was my homeboys. So anybody you talked to said they didn't know me. They didn't come to Compton until the 80s, 84, 85. It's nobody in Compton, even his boy John T. John T didn't tell him he didn't know me. Reggie Wright show didn't tell him he didn't know me. So where did you get this from? Show me one person that's from Compton said they didn't know Marvin Kinsey, Marvelous Marv, or the Ayatollah. I eat your hat.
Well, let me ask you this. When it comes down to it, at the end of the day have to end. Let me just say this. When I first hear about it, a few years now ago, you bringing the recording. I don't know how you and him end up on the phone together. I think Reggie Wright was on the call.
Right.
Some kind of way y'all get twisted. What was the whole thing of y'all, how y'all first even got sideways?
I was with Melvin Farmer. Melvin Farmer, I didn't know nothing about Adam 12 or No Jumper. He like, man, we got an interview. They want to interview us. I'm like, who? We go down.
That was after Boss Talk 101 interview. After y'all had fell out with Charleston and all that, yes, on my show.
After Charleston, I guess after
Boss Talk. After Boss Talk 101.
After Boss Talk. So he said, man, let's go. So we went down there. So Adam 12 asked me a question. What's happening with Wack 100? Is he a PIRU? And I said, he ain't from Compton. I don't know him. He's not from Compton. He got offended. Adam, the white boy, turns around and brings him on. He said, well, yeah, Ayatollah says you're not a PIRU, you're not from Compton, right? So he tried to put it on the black, but I don't know if it was AB. No, you asked the question, and I gave you the answer that he wasn't from Compton. So he says on his show that when he see this 70-year-old ninja, he gonna knock him out. And I said, well, shoot, if I give you 10 grand if you knock me out. Yosemite Sam, I'm not gonna let no little bitty man whoop me like that. So it end up back and forth on the media. Yeah, when I see him, I'm gonna knock him out. That's another fade he never took. So Reggie said, on Bomb First, he said, Marv, it's just a misunderstanding. You and dude need to talk. Oh, I'm good for talking, whatever you want to say. We get on the phone, he want, you said this and bruh, that's not even the point. You said, I said, you said you was gonna knock me out. When can we meet? When can we meet? Oh, I'm gonna show you what this bag gonna do. So he put a contract on my life. That was 4 years ago, still breathing.
So now you guys, I just seen him and Charleston sitting down together. They had issues on the phone. They were screaming at each other at once upon a time. Will it ever be a time where you and this guy will sit down and talk? Wack 100?
Yeah. After he leave the emergency. Sure.
So, because a lot of times, a lot of these people on the internet, they talk back and forth, and they do this, and as they doing it, it's a thing, it's a plot just to get people to look at what they're doing, like Good Times used to be, like Different Strokes. You know, I'm going back, but then Family Matters, Bill Cosby, Sanford and Son, Martin. Yeah, but that's what they're turning this internet thing into.
But they're turning it into. But everybody ain't like that. Some people gonna make you stand on your word. So I'm not forgiving like that. When you say things to me, it hurts my feelings. I'm emotional like that. I'm quick to anger and hard to forgive.
Wow.
And I know that about myself. So it ain't no joke when I say something, it's gonna happen. I mean, that's just life. So it's a big world. So you stay on this side, because when we cross, it's gonna be friction.
Exactly.
It got to be. I can't, they say a drunk speaks a sober mind. and I get, hey man, F you, I don't need you. If you any kind of man, I have to say the same thing to you in the morning.
When you see me, yeah.
Oh, I was just high, man. No, man. It's something. I remember one time, bro, how devout I am about me. And my mom, knowing me all my life and know the struggles I went through in prison, she knows me. And one day we was discussing something, and she was asking me about some money and this and this and that, and I was like, Mom, what? You're sweating me, this and that. And she said, boy, you act like a little sissy. I said, what the hell did you say? I didn't speak to my mother for 1 year because of us saying I'm a sissy. Anybody who say something to me in prison, I'd kill them for that.
I think Miss Jamaica.
And your mama is your baby. You always talk about how much you love your mama. You stopped talking to her for a whole year.
1 year. She came to my house. Marvin, what's wrong with you? Anything I'd have to say to my mother, I'd give it to my niece and write a note.
Just because she called you a sissy. But why she? So how did y'all start back talking?
She came to my mom, and I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Mom, you know what you said to me? Mm-hmm. She said, well, I was just trying to hurt your feelings. Well, it worked. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's certain things. And I love when Kendrick say, I cut off my granny if she don't see it the way I see it.
Yeah.
I'll cut off my granny if she don't see it the way I see it.
Wow. So when you look at the phone call that came in and you and him pretty much went back and forth and he said, I got a bag.
And hung up the phone.
That's where it ended at. That's where
rest, man, Marv, I didn't, hey man, it just went left. So now he started, he's a snitchy. Man, how can you tell on somebody that got full immunity? No matter what you said, no matter what happened to them, they will never go to jail for it.
Wow. Explain.
When a person has immunity, just like we're talking about Cassie, and we're talking about Cassie, and I told you that last night, the element of Cassie on what all the stuff that they're painting the picture of her participation is making the conspiracy theory in trafficking on Puffy's case. You think it's just the drugging and the hitting and her. When she's saying she's paying a prostitute and they gave him a tip and she made some of the calls, they're calling that, in the essence of this case, is going to be an unwilling conspirator. So that you have to have one or more persons in a criminal conspiracy to aggravate the charge.
Wow.
In a federal case, it ain't about the charge, it's about the money. So you gave somebody some money that's under the table, and we didn't get taxes for it. Al Capone went to jail, went to prison for income tax evasion. He was making $25 million a year. Wow. And he went to prison he was working in a barbershop and he didn't pay his taxes for $54. And J. Edgar Hoover found it out and they filed tax evasion on it and sent him to to Alcatraz State Prison. So it's about money in the feds. And the element right now is tied down. She admitted, and the male prostitute said that they gave him a tip for $2,400. That's all. That's the element. Those are the elements. Feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So when you get in a criminal conspiracy in a criminal court, in Suge Knight's trial, somebody was offered total immunity to get on the stand on Suge. I wasn't there. Somebody got total immunity, and Suge got 28 years under some shit he did. He didn't make him go to trial, but the deal was sealed. Just like I will shoot and kill for my homeboys, I'll lie for them too.
That's real.
I mean, I'm not territorial. I remember when Scarface came out, we was in San Quentin, 82, 83. And we had a big discussion in the hole about Santiago him not killing Santiago because Santiago's children was in the car.
That's right.
He don't blow. If he's a rat, his kids are rat too. I'm gonna blow the whole car up. Killing is killing to me. I'm not sparing nobody. You look at the same thing with the Godfather. When they killed his father and they tried to get him and he ran, he came back and ended him out. So if I say somebody's a rat, I'm gonna kill everything in that rat generation.
Wow. So when going back, just back to Wack for one more time. Wack pretty much Wack 100.
Rat 100.
He's pretty much he's on the internet. He has all the stuff that he's got going. A lot of times, a lot of stuff he's doing is like the clubhouse or on
every element that he's in, all of his friends. How are you a PIRU and all of the people that you associate are Crips?
Wow.
Loose Cannon, what's the other boy name?
600.
No, 600, a federal agent. The other one, B.
Brick Baby?
Brick Baby. Everybody he deal with, he don't deal with no Bloods and nothing on his channel. How is this guy always kicking it? Where he was tight with Big U after Nipsey got killed. But he thought he was gonna get the grid contract, and when Big U got it, he started indicting Big U. He's the one set up the element. He sets up all of these plays. He's a master at it. I'm saying he good. Even him and Jimmy the Cricket. When him and Jimmy the Cricket, he knew how vicious Charlie was. Man, I'm throwing up the white flag. I don't want no smoke. But he knew that. So, and let's go back. When we're talking about the element of the crime and when you became, didn't we discuss a while back that he got arrested in Texas for a gun beef?
Charleston White.
No, Rat 100. Rat 100 and his brother got arrested in Houston on possession of a firearm.
Really?
Yes. Got arrested for possession of a firearm, and they bailed out. Right about this time, the case came up with Main Street Mafia, with the Main Streets, Dale Dog, and Stutterbox. And amazingly, his case in Houston, Texas, was dismissed in the interest of justice. He started working for the feds that day.
Wow. So you saying...
So since we researched it, let's go back to Rat 100 getting arrested in 2003, 2004 in Houston, Texas for gun possession, and the case was kicked out in the interest of justice. When do they do that in Texas?
Wow. I ain't know it.
Okay.
Now, listen, I'm going to be real with you. When I see these things on the internet, I don't be knowing, like, it's so much stuff to be coming through. Everybody, every day got something to say about something. You and I both know that.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of times certain people get the information first and they start talking about it. A lot of times that's how it trickles out. You know what I mean? A lot of the politics that's going on in Texas and things that's happening in Texas, but with Jay Prince or whoever, it ends up being a thing where Wack will speak on it or somebody will speak on it, and not even from Texas. It's always
not even from but how do you have firsthand information? I've been gang banging, been involved since 1959, and this rat comes up with some information. Y'all got a call this morning at 7 o'clock. Who calling you? The government? You know before Texas know. You know before Chicago know.
Will you and you say it'll never be a chance for you and this guy to ever sit down and solve y'all differences?
We ain't got no difference.
You just going by what the last thing he said to you.
We ain't got no, we're not the same type of people.
Explain.
The lions don't hang out with the tigers. The lambs don't hang out with the goats. We on two different food chains. In the jungle, there ain't but two things in the jungle: predator and prey. And two predators don't hang out together. We all looking for the prey.
Wow.
So if he think he the prey, he better eat me before I eat him. Somebody getting ate.
Wow. Wow, man. Like I said, man, different world, man. And like I said, when you went on Adam 22, I remember that interview. I remember just thinking about the history of the way y'all was speaking on the history. Because y'all only went on there once, right?
So I only went on there. Melvin probably went on there a couple.
I don't know if Melvin. I just seen you and him on there together that time.
I went that one time, and after the cross came up, he came in like he wasn't. That's the deceiving of the devil. He came in before the interview. He was talking to Melvin about Rat 100. Who is he? He's claiming. And Melvin said, hey, you got to ask Marv about that. That's Compton business, right? But he ain't. I said he ain't from Compton. Wow. He's 70 miles away from Compton, California.
I remember he saying the homies ain't gonna ride with that.
And the homies ain't. They must be riding with it, huh? I'm still down Rosecrans. He ain't.
Wow, man. I guess I'm gonna definitely get back. But I want to ask you about, like, when you look at just the way the energy is, man, with the way that Big U and he's right now locked up on that RICO. The guys, they thought Loose Cannon would get out. They thought Brick Baby would get out. But they never was able to get out, and they seemed at first like they was calling, and they had a little action on basically the fact of, okay, we had a fight in here. They was almost podcasting from inside the federal holdings, and they was basically talking back and forth with Loose Cannon's his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And
under the instruction of Rat 100.
And Poetic Flacco.
Yeah.
They was also dealing with Poetic Flacco on the air on No Jumper. They was all in a room, I remember.
Yeah. Poetic Flacco, that's a little SpongeBob looking guy. Okay.
Shout out to my boy Poetic Flacco.
Yeah, with you, Flacco.
But at any rate, have you ever seen the likeness of somebody being locked up and being able to do them strategies from the federal holdings?
But it was no strategy. They set themselves, they got played. They got played by Adam 12 and Rat 100.
So you say they're the reason?
They're the reason. Them two idiots wouldn't have been doing that if they hadn't got permission from their white daddy. They thought that was gonna go over. And then, oh, well, y'all be all right. But you talk too much. They didn't summons, the feds and summoned all the Adam 12 shows that got them two on it. And it's this boy Brick Baby, he got on, I done had more murders than you done had some idiotic stuff, but you gotta find them dead bodies. But just by you saying that, that's conspiracy in the element.
Wow. Speaking to the mic.
Yeah, that's conspiracy in the element. This other boy, Loose Cannon, looking like Stevie J, he talks about picking up money from Big Hugh and how they extorted. What's the boy name that we was talking about that said he got it out the mud? Him and this Gilly.
Oh, Gilly and Wallow.
Yeah, Gilly. They robbed Gilly and Gilly and his son. And how Nipsey went back and gave him $25,000 and locked him in. And that's what they had been doing. And Big Hugh set all that up. This come out of this Loose Cannon.
Dang. See, and that's the part where you don't be really understanding like how this stuff is gonna transpire, what made this happen, but when you see Big U, that was 10 people, I believe. Maybe was it 10 that got arrested?
I don't know.
It was it was on a flyer. I can't remember. It was a bunch of them.
Okay.
Maybe a few females, but everybody got out but Loose Cannon, Brick Baby, and Big U.
And Big U, right. Because again, we go the elements of the conspiracy. Just like Cassie, them dummies wasn't cool enough to get immunity to testify against Big U, but they using their words against him.
Wow. And the thing, I hadn't seen nothing really like that happen it was big news when that happened in LA. Like I was like, wow, this is crazy. The news, it shut down the internet for a day or two.
Man.
Just the way that they came in and got them. And Big U went live. I remember him going live and saying, I got to turn myself in because of the internet.
I'm doing stuff for the community, and the internet paints me as for the little 5 or 10 years you did something good, 20 years you messed up the neighborhood. It don't balance out. Everything in life is a balancing act.
They say that his character, that who he is, was depicted by Tiny Lister, R.I.P. to Tiny. When Tiny Lister played Big, what did he play on there? Debo. They say that was depicted from Big U's character.
Okay, pretty much.
Like it was like this is the way he was doing the game when they would come. People would come. I guess they felt like him on a bike, and then him riding through the hood, snatching chains, fighting people, telling people this is where it's gonna be, or else you feared when. Well, not you, because that's the other side. You from Compton.
Yeah, that's yeah.
But this is the way Tiny and I guess Ice Cube painted that picture of him as they wrote these scripts. And I didn't even know that till after he had started getting arrested. I didn't even know that. Like, right. You know what I mean? It blew my mind, you know. And then when you look at a lot of the movies that they did up there, Singleton did, and all of them boys up there did, it's been a thing where when we see those movies from the Boys in the Hood, from Straight Outta Compton, or for what's the other one that Colors. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It depicts the streets and all the stuff that's going on in the California area, right? And
I mean, when you look at movies, Mississippi Burning, Enemy of the State, that just didn't come up out the air. Those are elements that really happen, and that's the amazing thing about the devil. The devil will put it right there in your face and make you believe that it ain't really true.
Wow.
This is just made up. Who made it up? They say whatever the mind can conceive, the body can achieve. So when you see all these things going on and you think it ain't real, Enemy of the State told us 15 years ago of the tapping and the wiretapping and what they put microphones. I told you, attorney told me in 1978. Shout out to Richard Cobb in Houston, Texas, my white daddy.
Hey, man.
He said, never say nothing on the phone that you can't say in court.
Wow.
Everything is monitored. He told me that in 1978. And we on the phone talking our business, and the feds you can get 6 years in the federal penitentiary just for phone conversation.
I gotta ask you something, and I didn't ask you this, but this just came up, and I want to hear your opinion on it. Vlad, DJ Vlad, had put out a post, and his post said that the guys who broke out of Louisiana prison, if y'all will come and talk to me, then I'll pay y'all for y'all interview, and I'm not gonna turn y'all in. This here was something he said, and he posted it. And Godfrey got mad at one of the comedians and called him out about it. This here just happened. Mm-hmm. So what do you think about that? Is that something that they should do?
Now, listen at how stupid that sounds. That I will pay you for an interview. I'm not talking about turning you in. If you get caught, I'm going to bail you out of jail. Or if you get caught, or when you get caught, I'm going to put $100 on your books for all the time you in prison for the interview you gave me. But I'm gonna pay you, so I'm gonna take $1,000 and let your white ass exploit me. And so, man, that's a good deal. I'm good. How you gonna get there?
You don't have to go there because they can put the camera there. He just have his cameraman to meet up with him. And then,
when he the cameraman and the camera, you tell him where you at. Who following the cameraman? Damn fool! The hell, dummy!
So you totally you're not rocking with that at all.
I wouldn't rock. Vlad, he sent me to. Melvin hooked me up with an interview with Vlad in Burbank, and I didn't go. And so he told me, man, look, I'm going out to New York. So he flew me out to New York, right? So he flew me out to New York to do an interview about the PIRU.
Wait a minute, stop. He flew you out?
Yeah.
He just flew out the plumber. What's that? Aaron the plumber guy flew out and he didn't go to the interview, and it was a big thing. Wack called him. Everybody tried to figure out why he didn't go, and Aaron said that he just basically didn't have enough time, didn't have the ride he didn't go.
Well, I had enough time and I had everything. I went to the interview and I asked how much for my information it costs, and he said I don't pay for interviews. So I took my little New Jersey, shout out to Magic Brown.
Did you go meet up with Vlad?
I went in New York and met with him in Manhattan. Went to the studio.
Wait a minute, you got to walk me through that.
How long ago was this?
This was, when
it was after Boss Talk, for sure after Boss Talk interview.
No, I think it was before.
It was before Boss Talk?
I think it was before Boss Talk. One of the first interviews, me and Melvin. Melvin had done an interview, and we had just finished doing the 20 years of death row with Ice-T.
Okay.
We did, and he wanted to talk about Suge and the thing that happened in Tams, and I told him, man, Suge was going to court, and we're going to talk about something, so I didn't show up in Burbank. So after that, I showed up in New York. And when I showed up in New York, he like, well, man, we're going to talk about some things, but ain't nothing off the table. I said, yes, some stuff off the table. I said, well, if it ain't off the table, how much you going to pay for it? And he says, well, hey, I don't pay for interviews. Well, I don't do them.
Wow.
And, me and Magic them scooted right on out of there like we scooted in.
Wow.
And I ain't
Magic, who is Magic?
Magic Brown out of PIRU's out of Plainfield, New Jersey.
Hey,
whoa. Him and Essence Rue out of Newark.
So y'all move right on up out of there.
Got the hell up on out of there.
Because he basically didn't want to pay you for your interview.
For my time, bro, my time. Information is valuable.
Definitely so. OG, now tell me, like, when you think about the way that he came and he apologized to the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, and that was something you said that you applauded him for that.
I said what?
Did you say you agreed with him? You applauded him like that's?
No, I didn't. I didn't tell you that.
You didn't agree with him?
Lies don't care who tell it, huh?
I thought you agreed with it.
Last time you thought it was an earthquake.
Okay, well then tell me how you feel about it. He went on Willie D and he basically said he apologized to Minister Farrakhan for what had happened.
Okay.
And he said basically he apologized and he recant what he had said because he had said some stuff that wasn't true or that he shouldn't have said.
Okay.
And do you think that was noble or not?
I just said hell to the no. See, we underestimate apologies. Apologies is a state of sorry, right? So the element of sorry is in the court system. There's 3 stages to sorry, right?
Right.
If we ride down the street and we ride in, the police pull you over and you get a ticket, you sorry that you got that ticket, right?
Right.
Now when you go to court, you tell the judge you sorry then, right?
Right.
But then for your sorry, he makes you pay a fine, huh?
Correct.
So it's a third element. So you haven't made me whole.
Wow.
You come and tell me how I apologize that I was out of line. Where is my compensation for that? White America compensates. If you late on your taxes, you got to pay a fine, huh?
Right.
If you late on your rent, you got to pay back rent, huh?
Right.
So for feeling sorry, there's an element. Negroes only take the 2 elements and say, oh, well, he said he was sorry, so what? He knew he was.
So therefore, you don't accept his apology in behalf of...
What I need it for. It don't change Minister Farrakhan's walk in life. One white man apologized. You know how long they've been apologizing to slaves? Oh, well, man, I really apologize, but I wasn't in slavery. But you benefiting off of it.
Wow.
Your granddaddy owned plantations, but you haven't made black people whole in America, huh? You're giving us holidays. But when you take a holiday, that means you took off of work. That means you don't get paid that day, huh? Dumb slave.
Wow.
So, no, I don't take your apologies if you're not making me whole. So Vlad can't get away with a culture vulture eating off of black people. And now you say, well, I apologize to Minister Farrakhan, but you're still a Jew.
Wow.
So, no, I don't. Vlad ain't gonna ever see me, I ain't gonna ever see him.
Yeah, that ain't happening. So
he might come to the hood.
He come to the hood? He come to Compton?
No, I sit to the hood.
He not coming to Compton.
No. Just like Rat 100 ain't going to Marathon Burgers.
You don't let Wack make it, he can't make it.
Vlad ain't coming to Rosecrans.
He ain't come to Rosecrans, man. Listen, man, I'm thinking about Diddy now, man. Diddy is, we in the second week of his trial, pretty much. We did 2 weeks now. We've seen Cassie. We've seen a host of men escort guys take the stand. We've seen Kid Cudi, whose car got blew up, allegedly by Diddy. They're saying that a Mazel Tov or something he dropped through the
Molotov
roof.
cocktail.
What is that?
A Molotov cocktail is a soda bottle with gasoline in it and a piece of string or a rag tied behind you. Catch it on fire.
And I heard you seen it like when they would throw it in the stores.
Yeah, in the riots and stuff.
In the riots,
yeah.
in the Rodney King riots.
Right.
I seen them. They were throwing them and taking TVs. Yeah. So they dropped this off and he says when he spoke with Diddy about it, when they sit down in a meeting, he said, "Man, what we gonna do about my car?" And Diddy took a long stare at him and said, "What car?"
Yeah. What? Allegedly out there, you didn't see me do it. So you're saying because of Cassie, I burn up your car. Prove it. But now,
OG, you don't think he did it?
I ain't said nothing. I ain't
You
said,
don't know if he did that or not?
Ain't my business.
So his car gets blowed up. Cassie, they say allegedly Cassie sent him over there.
You sure Cassie didn't do it?
I don't know who done it.
She stole jewelry from Puffy.
Now, see, that's alleged. We don't know if that happened.
We don't know if Puffy burned up the car either.
You know, this trial it don't seem like it's going to change.
But the only thing that concerns me, the legal team that he has.
Still nil.
And where are they placing themselves at? This is not an OJ Dream Team. I give you that because I know that they wouldn't have never let some of the things that they're putting in actually have nothing to do with they're bringing them in to associate the charges. But I would have deeply objected to some of the things, just like Cudi and the fire. My temper and my jealousness has nothing to do with racketeering. That's a whole nother charge.
That is.
So why are we discussing this? In court, you're supposed to stay in the scope of what the evidence shows. So if I allow you ain't supposed to be objection of everything they said. They were supposed to object. You just sit back and let them they should, instead of that woman talking to Cassie, they should have had Brian Steele tearing her ass up. Well, what about the 12 football players when you were 17 that you had sex with? What about when you got caught in the store stealing cigarettes at 15? Don't have to answer that question. You know what I'm saying? Just get it out there. It's a promotion. I had an attorney named Ron Minkin. Man, that was the baddest man. Oratory. He'd have him. Hey, I like to make a motion to dismiss on a coffee. And one day I left him in the courtroom. I was late for court, and he went in there to talk to the judge. I told him, man, look, I don't care what you got to do with this judge, but I'm not going to court today. And he was in there with Judge Frederick in Torrance Court, and he comes out and he's shaking his head like this. I thought that was all bad. I went and gave my mother them the keys. Where you go? I said, somebody going to jail today, but it ain't me. And next day, you know, when they called me, when I called him, he said, Marv, where you at, man? The judge said he wasn't gonna hold you. Man, I'm in Houston, Texas. Shit, the catching come before the hanging, boy. Yes.
Just the way he come out there shaking his head.
He said, man, I had an earache. Well, that was a bad sign, bro. No, sir. I talked to the judge, and he was going to give you a firm scolding and was going to hold it over till 2 o'clock. He was, hey, you should have came out with another motion, bro. You came out there shaking your head like that. That was, man, I started coughing. The bailiff said, Kinsey, I said, man, I just got to go get some water. I was at LAX.
OG, you gotta help me on this, man. So do Diddy? Okay, again, and you know I have asked you this online, but you gotta say it for the people. Would Diddy walk out of there a free man in the next 2 months?
No, sir.
You don't think he walks out a free man?
No, it's not gonna happen. The best thing, I see the best situation, if it's a situation at all, as they can get him 10 years.
10 years.
That would be the best case scenario for him. 10 years.
Wow, 10 years.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, buts about it. All right, let me ask you this, and because I got one more real good question I got to ask you, because this gonna be a jawbreaker, man. Remy Ma, she went off for 2 days. She's sick of the stuff that Papoose and them doing. Going out here having a good time, talking about how good one another is, and leaving her out the scenario. What do you think about? What do you think? Do you think that pretty much she's scoring, or do you feel like she right and Papoose was wrong for leaving her?
She's a scorned woman. That man took care of that woman in prison, held her down in prison, no matter what. I wouldn't have.
Wait a minute, you did 20 years in prison.
25.
You did 25 years in prison.
And my mother held me down every day.
No, that ain't his mama though. That's her man.
I said my mama.
What woman held you down?
Nan one. That's why I don't care. They end by 10, out by 2.
Nan woman never held you down.
When the ones
you had pen pals.
Wait a minute. The woman that held me down is because I paid them.
Who you paid?
When the money ran out, they ran out too.
So you feel like. So
you said your baby mamas held you down.
They was paid. They wasn't them hookers just didn't come up in there. Love is two fools feeling sorry for each other. I had them under contract. Mm-hmm. So
wow.
The only one that ran for me with no holds barred was Willa Mae Kinsey.
Wow.
She should have left me in juvenile hall. Probably I'd have been old and fat with my hairline kicked back and a honeydew just like you.
Whatever, man. You watch yourself. So basically, she was hurt.
Yeah, she's scorned because see, she got caught feeding her animal instinct to a buster. Got knocked out. Ain't no hell of a rapper. This and that. She got caught with the trash, and she got the stink on her. And then her man did better. You talking about, yeah, you got your come up and your payday. Okay, good. I was telling my son the other day, and we were talking about one of my ex-girlfriends, right? And a hell of a little girl, you know. Professional girls aren't freaks. You know, them side busters, they do it all. Back, front, side to side, 3-wheel motion. They ain't got a dog in no fight. But I had this one girl, she's an RN nurse. And so through my inadequacies, she left me and got with her husband, right? And she's in Jacksonville, Florida. You know, shout out to Tangenique, you know, doing her thing, and I'm mad about it. Yo, jealous man, like, man, it should have been me.
Wow.
But it wasn't me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we cool. I know how to accept it. But I know, see, it all, when you deal with somebody and they doing worse than you, your chest fill up. But when they doing better than you feel bad as hell.
OG.
The OG, what did the OJ say? Used to be my girl.
That's it right there, man. Man, thank you so much, OG, man. We gonna always go down through that, man. Hopefully I can sit down with you one more time here in San Antonio,
man,
and we can
got
talk
to.
about it. Straight out of Compton, California, all the way to
PIRU.
man, check it, man. That's been another great segment, man. Boss Talk 101, man. What a boss is talk.
And we out.